Good evening. How is everybody? You can hear my music playing in the background. Got a new computer in here. Figured out. couldn't find the couldn't find the mute button on the new computer. Well, it's new old computer setup. But yeah. How is everybody? Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Hey Heather. I'm glad you made it on time. It's amazing. We've we've been enjoying the weather, man. The weather here in Ohio has been flipping amazing. Been sunny in mid 80s the last 2 days, and my poor friends that are more Midwest than we are experiencing like blizzard like conditions and horrible snow. And man, I am so grateful that we are not dealing with that weather. What's up, Lacey, Heather? Glad to see you guys are in here. We're going to be talking about gratitude, and if you guys seen when the live notification popped off, it said, "Hey, it's Addi." Well, guess who's here? It's Addi. I'm letting her run the show tonight. She came up with the topic. Surprise, surprise, that has something to do with gratitude. We're all about gratitude. Can never have enough gratitude, guys. Post your comments in the chat. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna bring Addi on. And oh, she's sorry, gosh, she's still sharing the stream. So yeah, please share the stream while we're waiting on Addi to share the stream.
Technical difficulty.
It's, hey, it's the joys. It's the joys of live streaming together. I literally have been working on this, guys. That's why you haven't seen me a whole lot here lately. I've been working on getting this studio. Thank you, Heather. Been working on getting this studio together and new microphone arms and gadgets and toys. And yeah, I'm going to have to do a tour so you guys can see what it actually looks like in here. Another table. I got a cat trying to climb my green screen behind me right now, literally. Kind of doing the cat scratch like she's going to take a poop on it, which could possibly happen. But just, we've been upgrading while we're trying to make better content. And, you know, that way I can just come in here and do it all the time. Addi can come in here and do a live stream by herself if she wants to. Man, come a long way in such a short period of time, and there's a lot of gratitude in that. So are we ready?
I've shared it to as many places.
Are we ready to put your mug on screen? We got the cats in here, we got Addi in here. Well, hey
everybody, hey,
there she is. Look at that. We even got her a really cool background that kind of matches her bandana where she blends in with her grandma. Do any of you guys wear those big thick grandma glasses?
Here, see this with us.
Look at these things. Like, those are like what women that don't see well wear. Older women that don't see well.
I actually stole my first pair of those from when I was working at Steak and Shake. Some old lady left them on the table, and they went in my pocket at the end of the night because it never came back for me.
It's funny still seeing you on delay. We can see her on delay on our monitor in here.
I'm going to apologize to everybody right now. This is a new setup for us. So Joe is next to me over here, and I'm talking towards the wall. So it's a lot to get used to for me that I'm not talking to him where I can see him. He's beside me. It's weird. It's a little odd, but that's all right. We're going to roll with it. So I apologize if, you keep seeing the side of my face or can't hear me or whatever.
It's hard explaining to Addi that these are cardio microphones. So like you literally have to speak directly to the microphone. So when you talk off to the side like this, my audio is obviously not nearly as loud as it is when I speak into the microphone.
This is what happens when you're in a relationship with an Italian girl. I need the space to do this with the hands, and I need eye contact when I'm speaking. So it's weird. It's hard.
We got Italian and German Catholic.
Yeah. So, here we are.
Yeah. So what are we talking about tonight?
We're talking about gratitude. If anybody that knows me can imagine that. I don't know. Anybody that's been in my meetings knows We talk about gratitude often.
All the time.
All the time. It is what I close my meetings out with. So, that being said, we're talking gratitude, guys. Drop that gratitude in this chat box so we can see it. I have a live screen over here. I'm not on the phone right now, so you don't see me on, but I'm here. We're going to talk some gratitude. I'm going to start by doing a reading from, tell me if you can see this. Played.
Yeah.
This is the book I'm going to read out of. This is one of the
Perfect.
Al-Anon Daily Readers, Courage to Change. It is one of our books that has all the dates and all the, it has a reading for every day.
Dina said, no, not you. You never talk about gratitude.
What's up, Dina?
Yes, all the time.
All the time.
Every meeting.
All the time. So this particular reading, we're going time traveling all the way back to February 14th. So bear with me. I'm going to read this. We didn't get it on a slide because we're not that. I told him 10 minutes before we were doing this. This is what I was doing. So.
Completely last minute.
Oh, here we are. Confusion can be a gift from God. Looking back on instances where I felt desperately in need of an immediate solution, I can see that I often was not ready to act. When I became fully ready, the information that I needed was there for the taking. When I know too much about my options before the time that it is right for me to exercise those options, I tend to use the information to drive myself crazy. That's why today, when I am feeling confused, I try to consider it grace and it may not yet be time for me to act. I think that dealing with confusion can be like cooking. If the bread isn't done, I don't take it out of the oven and insist that it is time to eat. I let it finish baking. If a clear solution to a problem hasn't shown itself, I can trust that it will appear when it is time, when the time is right. Today's reminder: I will thank my higher power for what I have experienced today, even if I feel troubled. Sorry, this font is not great on this phone. Trouble or confusion. I know that every experience can offer me a gift. All I have to do is be willing to look at my solution in the light of gratitude. And there's a quote at the bottom from Helen Keller. Everything has its wonders, even in darkness and silence. And I learn, whatever state I may be in, therein will be content. I know, I just kind of like that one. It was one of the first ones I popped up when I was looking for gratitude. And I really kind of gravitated to that one. And I mean, coming from the aspect of looking at your situation and always being able to find the positive in that situation or the gratitude in that. To me, positivity and gratitude at this point in my life are kind of universal. I can flip them, I can use the same word and mean the exact same thing, because to me, being positive is being grateful. So if I use those, there can be flipped around in a conversation. I can use either one in a sentence and it means the same thing, at least as I'm trying to share it. Like just for an example, a couple of years ago, I broke down my car. I was getting on the interstate and my car just stopped going. I don't know what was, I'm not a mechanic. It wasn't going. So I pulled off to the side of the road and I had roadside assistance called, got a tow truck on the way. It wasn't an emergency, so it's gonna be could be 3 hours for this tow truck to get. I've talked to people that know where I am. They know I'm safe. Everything's fine. So I'm sitting here on the side of the road. I have two choices. I can either be super pissed off that I'm delayed from work and I'm stuck here on the side of the road, or I can look at it as an opportunity. Kind of like the reading said. I can practice that pause and take those couple hours to do some things that will benefit me in the long run. So I had some correspondence that I needed to get caught up on, and I had some conversations I needed to have. So I started doing all that stuff in my car, sitting on the side of the road. It was a nice day. I was watching these birds fly by. It was, I had the choice to either sit in it and be pissed off and be mad for 3 hours till the tow truck came, or to make the best of it and
Shitty committee.
find those things exactly and find those things to make it better. So I did what I could. I reached out to some people. I got some emails done. I actually put pen to paper and wrote a couple of letters because I love doing that. I don't know who else. I love being pen pals and writing letters. Hey, if anybody wants to be a pen pal with me, let me know. I can put the P.O. box in the chat box.
Yeah, as long as our neighbors don't steal our mail, we'll get it.
That's why I'll send it to the P.O. box.
Yeah.
I'll get it if it comes to the P.O. box because the neighbors don't have access to
our neighbors like to take our mail.
Yeah.
So.
It's
That's another topic.
It is. So Joe, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't, I'm reading the chat and like I see the Dina. Okay. Says yes, there's always something positive. There's always something positive. Sometimes you just have to look for it. But the more you look, the easier it is to see. And I really agree with that because, for me, like an active addiction, I was so blinded to the day and the gratitude and the beauty, of each and every day that was there, because I wasn't focused on the gratitude. I was focused on the getting and using, and going to any means and lengths to get the next one to stay high. So, when I refocus my mindset, which is basically what she's saying, and I look and try to stay in that positive mindset and in that attitude of gratitude every single day, the gratitude usually always finds me, and it's easier for me to stay in a positive mindset. It's easier for me to refocus, to reset my day if I'm having a shitty day. I mean, let's be honest, we all have bad days. Life's going to show up. Not every day is going to be rainbows and unicorns. So when we do have a bad day, it's finding the ability to practice the pause, to slow ourselves down, to use the tools in our recovery toolbox.
Right. I'm glad you said that because I was going to say anybody that works the 12-step knows about the tools, but I'm going to say that they all take practice, and gratitude is no different. It's going to be hard at the beginning, but the more you do it and the more diligent that you are with it, the easier it comes.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're all changing, and it's like, the sayings, at least in like the NA side, it's we didn't become addicted in one day, so easy does it. So, I mean, we literally have to remind ourselves that. I have to remind myself that every day to slow myself down and not be in such a hurry. I'm an addict. I have control issues. Welcome, Paul. What's up, brother?
Yeah.
I have control issues, and I want what I want when I want it. So, when I'm not getting what I want, it's easier for me to either get into a bad mood or refocus and practice the principles and utilize those tools in my recovery toolbox. There's not enough gratitude in the world for the 12-step program I work, because it's literally, it has changed my life, and there's a lot of gratitude in that, and I'm not perfect at it.
Right, none of
if
us
my
are.
sponsor's listening right now, he knows I'm not perfect at it, but I try. I really do, guys. I try to the best of my ability every single day, and at times I fail, but at least I'm applying myself today, and I'm trying, because I had an application problem.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what that reading was talking about, though. It was talking about those days that you're not ready. You just need to show up and try your best. We're human. My late sponsor used to say, we're not humans doing, we're human being. So you have to be in that space, and you have to feel the feels and do all the work, because that's the only way to go. What is that saying? The only way to get through it is go through it.
Yeah, and feelings suck. I mean, if my buddy Zach in California is listening right now, embrace the suck. It's something he says all the time, and we have to go through it. Sharing our experience, strength, and hope, sharing our struggles and our pain. The whole pain shared is pain lessened. It's so true. Sometimes we have to go through the pain and feel it and share it in order to get into that mindset of gratitude. At least for me, that's something that I have to do, and it's not easy at times to do, at all for me. I mean, sometimes there's just things I don't want to share or talk about, And I have to, because I know in order to get through it, I'm going to have to talk about it to move forward.
Right. Well, and that's kind of, I was hoping you were going this direction, because if you guys were around at the beginning of the month, we had a funeral to go to. And, funerals suck. And it's hard to find the positive, but there's always the positive. And at this particular funeral, it was Joe's friend. We lost him to an overdose back in February. This funeral was a normal funeral until we got to this.
We thought it was going to be a normal funeral.
We thought it was going to be a normal funeral until we got to the, I want to say question and answer, but in a funeral, when they open the microphone and you can go up and share a story or something you're going to miss or something you really loved about that person.
Just
that
sharing memories about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This lady, who was not connected to anybody here at all, to anybody we could figure out.
Showed up.
She was just there randomly
at the funeral.
She walks up to the microphone and I don't know who this man is, and I don't know why I'm here, but you know what? She's like, I'm gonna talk at this guy's funeral, and she rambles on for about 5 minutes. Joe and I are looking at each other,
like, who the hell is this woman?
Waiting for Ashton Kutcher
seriously
to like jump out of the baptismal font and tell us that we all just got punked.
I'm totally waiting to.
Because
you just got punked.
It's just, and this lady's
candid camera.
She's talking to the preacher, like asking questions that she heard in the eulogy, and then like commenting on that, and then she walks over to his kids and was like, "Are you the daughter?" And she's like, "Yeah, I must hug you," and like just hugs the stuffing.
It was the most awkward thing ever.
And then did the same thing to his wife.
So awkward.
And it was just so weird. And so then she goes and sits down, and so we're just kind of looking at each other, not really trying to react, it's a funeral, we're trying to be serious and stoic and all the things. But so then we, at the end of the funeral, we go and we're talking to the people and doing all the things, right? All the normal funeral stuff. And then we get out to the car.
Like, this is my best friend that passed away.
Yeah. And so, both of us would have been in a very somber mood. Neither one of us do funerals well, with the loss of parents and people that are close to us, so it's not a fun situation for us. But you know what? The second we both got in the car, we looked at each other and both at the same time were like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, literally.
And
sort of busting
out laughing. And that, in that situation, was the gratitude. It was finding the funny part, the good part in that situation. Was it a shitty situation? Absolutely. But that was hilarious. And, everybody that we've told the story to, I'm like, you ever had a funeral crasher? And people are like, no. I'm like, I have been crashed a couple of family reunions and a couple of graduation parties. I didn't know the people, but we happened to be in a park and there was food, and we kind of went over and was like, hey, yeah, we're cousins of aunt whatever, And people usually didn't care and just let us eat their food, and it was no big deal. But I've never had the gall to crash somebody else's funeral.
It was so weird, guys.
And go up and actually speak at the podium.
Yeah.
So that part was, I think, the funniest part.
It's just seeing the ha-ha, the funny in the moment. It was a close friend of mine, and, immediately my first thought when we got outside was, man, if Jim was here right now.
I had that same thought during the funeral.
I could just hear him upstairs going, what in the hell is this woman doing at my funeral? Like, who is this woman? Like, I could just hear him in my head. And we just started busting out laughing. It was crazy. Right. But, since we're talking about the funeral things, something that you guys probably don't know about me, and this is kind of flipping a negative into a positive, and this is really serious, super serious to me. Deanna said she must have felt lonely. Yeah, no, she's more than welcome. She was welcome. It was just, it was so
something
weird.
Random to do on a Sunday afternoon on Linden Avenue in Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, when I'm bored and I'm hanging out, my first thought isn't let's go to a funeral and crash it, but different strokes for different folks, I guess. I don't know. But getting back on topic,
do we do that?
Well, yeah. Get back on topic? Yeah. I know. She squirreled me out. But we were talking about the seriousness.
Yeah.
And, no, I know you didn't mean it in a bad way. Like, when my father passed away, this is pain shared, pain lessened situation for me, because I was high when my dad passed away. I was still in active addiction. I was still using. And when I got the phone call from my sister that, he had passed at the hospital, we weren't able to go and see him. It was very limited up until the last 24 hours or so because of COVID. And they had the hospitals on lockdown. So anyone that's ever gone through that with family or people that have been in the hospital in the last few years where they won't let you in, even if it's an immediate family, that's what we were going through. And I was still using. Long story short, he passed away and I didn't get to say goodbye. Not to be, I'm being honest, not that it really would have mattered because I was still stuck in addiction and I didn't have a car at that point in my life. I didn't have any way of getting there. I had a ride offer from Addi right next to me. But I was too focused on getting the next one. And, I didn't get to say goodbye to my dad. So I stayed stuck for, I don't know, another 3 or 4 months before one day I just decided that enough was enough and I was going to go to treatment. Good evening, Ronnie. That's my little spiel on losing loved ones, people that are near and dear to you. We're talking about my father and me not being at his funeral when he passed away. Some of you may be able to relate to similar situations to that. But the whole point, in a nutshell with this whole conversation is, I'm grateful that I went through that experience now because I can share it with you guys. I can talk to you guys openly and honestly about, some of my struggles and my deep down pain that a couple years ago, I could have never done that. I could have never shared that with anyone.
Are you looking at my notebook? You are hitting point by point like the next thing I wanted to talk about.
No, totally not. This is why we love going live together because we feed off of one another. It's like we can feel one another's energy. It's really weird. Some of you guys might be able to relate to that, but we just feed off of one another really well. Go for it.
I was gonna say, like it kind of said in the reading that all the experiences can teach us a lesson, whether it be good or bad. And that's one of the things I have written down. You know what? Some of you guys have heard some of my stuff. Some people that know me know some of the stuff. I've been through some shit in my life, especially over the last couple years. And you know what though? I wouldn't change it for anything because all these bad things that have happened to me have led me to this place. And I am grateful and happy with the person that I am becoming today. And I wouldn't go back and change that stuff because it has brought me where I am and made me where I am. And so it's given me the ability to do this sort of thing with him. And hopefully that my story, his story, can be a survival guide to those people that are still out there and are still struggling through the stuff that we went through.
That's the therapeutic value of one person,
absolutely,
one addict, one alcoholic helping another. It's the beauty of narcotics is they're inclusive of we in their program because together we're stronger. You guys have heard me share this before that, next to my higher power, which is God, that therapeutic value, that lived experience of each and every one of you guys out there listening is a valuable tool. It's the most valuable tool in my toolbox. That lived experience, man. Dina nailed it here. She said, where's it at here? She's talking about growing through it. It says, and we grow through it.
Right.
We push through it, we get through it, and then we grow daily. We learn from it. And, sometimes we learn from our mistakes. At least we're trying or applying and not being afraid of failure. How many of you guys can relate to being afraid of failure? And trying,
Every day.
actually putting in the work. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be scary to try new things. And
this here is still a little, I still get nervous.
This is completely outside of, I'm a lot more comfortable with live streaming now because I've been doing it for a while now. I've been doing it for almost a year now, which is crazy, absolutely crazy.
I host meetings multiple days a week and I've done it for years now, and I still get nervous. every time it is like 5 till the meeting. I'm like, you get them kind of
Get the bubble guts.
butterflies, yeah, bubble guts, in
Get the
just
bubble
that
guts.
little bit, and I'm like, I'm a little nervous,
I gotta poop really
because I'm
bad.
still never sure exactly what's going to happen. But that's kind of the thrill of it too, is not knowing exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun, and we feed. You guys can see we have a good time. We laugh. I like the live, uncut, raw, unedited. You know, you're gonna hear fuck, shit, damn, and hell come out of both of our mouths.
What?
I mean,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
virgin mouth over
that's
here.
us. You know what I mean? Like, I'm grateful and I'm proud to say that I'm an addict today and that I'm not perfect, and I still cuss at times. And you know, I mean, it's me. I'm being me.
So
I was so tired of hiding from the real me and the true me for so long that, like, today, I can be myself and laugh, you know, and be okay with me.
Exactly like Ronnie said, every time we feel uncomfortable, that's when we're growing, because we can't grow in the comfortable. We can only grow in the uncomfortable. Those times that you feel like just like the sweater's not quite fitting right, or I don't know, I'm just, my metaphors
I gained too much weight because of COVID.
Yeah. You know, those times that you're like doing something new and it just doesn't feel crazy. What?
I said me, you know, putting the blame on something else other than myself, which another character defect of mine. But no, you know, Ronnie nailed it. You know, sometimes we have to get uncomfortable to ultimately become comfortable at some point in our life, you know. To be more comfortable. I don't think any of us are ever going to be completely 100% comfortable.
No, because we are always changing, and we should be always changing, always learning, always growing. You know, because that's when you get stagnant. My grandma, man, she was so worried about getting Alzheimer's when she got old, and she got Alzheimer's when she got old because that's all she ever focused on. She never focused on the gratitude in life, the good stuff. She always worried about the negative stuff. She never did any of the things that the doctors told her to do to help her, you know, develop new neural pathways in her brain, Sudoku puzzles, that kind of thing, to learn new things. She was just so hyper focused about the Alzheimer's that when she got the Alzheimer's, you know, she didn't put up a fight. And that was kind of a life-changing event for me, that I'm like, you know what, I'm going to put up a fight.
Yeah.
I'm going to change. I'm going to do what I need to do to change those things. Yeah.
Big word. We have to have the courage to change, guys. I'm glad she mentioned that. Hence
the name of the book.
Yeah. There you
Courage
go.
to change.
Courage to change. That's from the Al-Anon side. For those that don't know Addi, you know, when you hear her share and talk, it's going to be a lot of quotes in literature from the Al-Anon side, because that's where her recovery's at. My recovery's in the NA side. You know, but it's still an open format. All forms of recovery, whatever works for you, is absolutely an amazing thing, you know, because what works for you may not work for me, or it may not work for Addi, and vice versa. And that's completely okay, guys. I mean, what works for you is fine. You know, if it works, work it, please.
We're going to hit an NA meeting later on this evening when we get done doing this. And, you know, I'm not an addict, but it's an open meeting, and them guys are super cool in that meeting. I learn so much. I learn something every single time I go in there, and they're open enough to let me share. And I hope that they get something out of when I share. But, you know, it's a recovery. We're helping each other. You know, I hope that what I say helps other people. You know, I mean, because when other people speak, it definitely hits me, and I hear things that I needed to hear. It doesn't matter what book it comes out of,
I could go to any
fellowship it's in, you know.
I can go to any meeting, guys, and take something out of the meeting, you know.
No, I mean, you've done the Friends in Recovery. I get just as much listening to those podcasts as I do going to an Al-Anon meeting or going to anything else.
And if you guys haven't checked out my Friends in Recovery, please do. Their podcast is absolutely amazing. They're a bunch of crazies just like we are, and I absolutely love these people.
Yes, Jersey Ed's freaking hilarious.
Jersey Ed and the crew, they're awesome, man. Skylar might even be listening right now. I shot her the meeting link. You know, it's a good group of people in recovery. But yeah, like I'm reading a couple last comments in here, and one thing I took out of what Dina said was, talking about God, and it says He doesn't want us to be mediocre; He wants us to be great. So we fail at the job that she's talking about in the comment. It's because we weren't, it wasn't going to make us great. It wasn't meant to be. Is basically what she's saying. Um, you know, and we have to be okay with that. Like things happen for a reason. Some people agree with that. Some people don't agree with that. But I know my higher
we're
power.
okay with that.
Yeah, and that's completely fine. But I know that my higher power isn't going to guide me wrong. He isn't going to steer me in the wrong direction. He isn't going to lead me down the wrong road or put me on the wrong path. At the end of the day, it's my choice. If I veer off path of what my higher power and I take my will back and I run on my self-will, that's when I'm in trouble. That's when I veer off path and I go the wrong direction. It's not because he wanted me to. He was throwing me all the signs, and I made a choice not to see them or to hear them.
Yeah.
Free will. That's another one that I struggle with because, left to my stinking thinking and my own devices and my thought process and my addictive behaviors and character defects, I can get in trouble.
Ronnie,
I get in a lot of trouble.
Ronnie, I really want to say we're really sorry for your loss, and both of us can definitely relate to that.
Very much.
I'm going to send Joe a picture to send to you when we're done with this that helped me get through the grieving process a little bit. It's just a diagram that I found on Pinterest or somewhere a couple years back, but it really helped me get through the loss of my mom and kind of get past
some
of this.
At some point in our life, we all
things.
struggle with death. And it doesn't make it any easier, no matter who it is, but especially when it's a parent.
Mm-hmm.
I relate to that because I just lost my father. I get it. It's not an easy process, and they say it gets easier.
We get stronger.
It
doesn't get easier.
I don't know if it gets any easier.
We get stronger, and it folds into our life.
At least for me.
It
may for you guys.
That's how it experienced for me too. That it's just something that's with me, but I'm able to deal with it better.
Right.
When that time comes.
Welcome, Tanya.
So I'm going to talk about a gratitude challenge, if that's okay.
Gratitude challenge.
So I happened to be reading. It was on one of the Al-Anon apps a couple years back, or it was in the Forum magazine that we have. I don't remember, but it was a conversation between a sponsor and a sponsee, and they challenged each other to this gratitude challenge. They basically became workout buddies with each other and holding each other accountable.
Accountability buddy.
Yes. So for 40 days, they each sent each other a list of 10 things that they were grateful for, trying not to duplicate.
We used to do it on
list.
Messenger. Her and I used to do it on Messenger.
We did it when he was first in recovery.
Yeah.
And got his phone back.
Full circle here in Dayton.
I have done this challenge with, I want to say it's almost 50 people at this point. So over the last 3 or 4 years that I've done this. And so you know what? I've come up with a fuck ton of things that I'm grateful for. Because you figure at the end of 40 days, 10 times 40 is 400. So I did go to Covington. My math skills aren't great, but I'm sure that one is correct. But anyway. So I want to challenge you guys. Maybe you don't want to do 40 things. That's fine. But you know what? Find somebody to do this with.
I think we did 10 a day.
We did 10 a day for 40 days. We did 400 things.
Yeah, that's what we were doing.
Yep. And you try not to duplicate.
It's really easy to do, guys.
It
really
is. Because you know what? Even on those days where you just feel like crap, you can silly things like, I'm grateful. There's ketchup in front of me, so that's what I'm saying. I'm grateful for ketchup. I'm grateful for water. I'm grateful for air conditioning. And it can be simple things like that. And then one day you can be super deep and be like, I'm grateful for transformation. I'm grateful for gratitude. I'm grateful.
Just try not to duplicate it.
Like really deep things. I'm grateful for having boundaries and detachment and like really kind of getting deep. So those days that I don't feel like being grateful are those days that I need it the most.
Yeah.
And those are the days that the car breaks down and you're 3 hours late for work and they're docking you a whole day's pay, blah, but these are the times that you need to focus and do that gratitude list. And this we talk about, I know in my fellowship as well as NA, you know what? You can restart your day whenever you need to.
Yeah.
So
It's a
those
choice.
days that it is shitty and, it's raining and you step in the puddle and you drop your sandwich in the rain and just whatever. I mean, I'm just throwing things out there. And you're just having a shit day.
Not the sandwich.
The sandwich. And you're having a shit day. You can take a minute and just, pretend like you just got up and restart that day whenever you need to.
Reset button.
Hit the reset button. Sometimes doing a gratitude list is what I need to get my brain from the negative and the shitty committee is just kicking my ass to a positive place where I can tell them to take a long walk off a short cliff and be good, and sometimes I'll throw some positive affirmations in with that too.
That helps.
I am bold, I am strong, I am beautiful, whatever I need. We have them.
I can do this.
Not now. We used to have them around our bathroom mirror in the old place, and we're going to do that. That's one on my to-do list is this week to get that done because I miss seeing them around my mirror every day.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, back to this. I challenge you guys to find somebody to do a gratitude challenge with. If you can't commit to 10 things, that's fine. Do 5. Do 3. I don't care as long as you're doing it. That's the point that I'm getting to. Any little bit helps, but the more you do, the more it's going to help and the more change you're going to see quickly. We talk about this when people come to Al-Anon meetings. If you just come to one meeting a month or one meeting a week, yeah, are things going to change? Absolutely. You're going to notice, but it's going to be small and it's going to be a little bit at a time. But if you come to 3 meetings a week, and if you're cracking open these books and doing the daily readings and reaching out to a sponsor and working your steps
in your recovery.
and participating in your recovery, you are going to notice the change exponentially faster because you are putting the work in and you are, what's the phrase you say? You put God in the driver's seat, but you're actually applying yourself.
Well,
I think
you can allow God to drive the car, but we have to remember and never forget that we have to apply ourselves, that we have to put in the work, that God's not going to do the work for us. That's where I always failed. I wanted everyone to do everything for me. I wanted everybody to hand it to me and get me through it. And I thought that, just because I stopped using drugs, I was healed. And I'm going to a 12 shit
12 shit program.
Welcome to live streaming.
Hey.
12-step fellowship. That I was healed, but I wasn't putting in any work, guys.
Send all your hate mail to Joe Shabeline at P.O. Box. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. All my hate mail
for the 12 shit stuff.
Yeah, but long story short, we got to put in the work. Our higher power is never going to guide us in the wrong direction or do anything to harm us, but we have to put in the work and apply ourselves is basically where you're going with this entire topic.
This is where I'm going with
but
this
the gratitude becomes a routine is what Addi was getting with.
Is what I'm saying.
It became easier for me when I woke up every day. It became routine. Like I automatically would start to think about things that I was grateful for, and it became part of my daily routine, part of my daily process. I would start the day off. Like I pray every morning, guys, but I don't pray until I get in the car. Like when I get behind the wheel of the car, that's my prayer time. And I say a prayer every single morning when I get behind the wheel of our car before I go to work. I say it in the parking lot before I put the car in reverse and back out. Oh, that's a lie. Sometimes I say it while I'm driving, like literally out to the street. But you get what I'm saying. And it's just become routine. Like I used to never do things like that. So, the more we do it and the more we practice it, the easier and the more routine it becomes. And man, it's a life-changing experience. It really is. Having that ability to reset our day, your day, when life shows up. And I don't know where she came up with dropping your sandwich and the mud puddle came from, but when life shows up and shit happens.
It's scary up there.
Yeah, it is scary, up there. You know what I mean? See, I'm not the only one that prays on their way to work. So that's the relatable experience I've been talking about, but it's awesome. That's why I like sharing, these little things that I do daily, that Addi does daily. because they help. They really, really help.
There are scientific studies. I'm not going to throw numbers out because I don't have any in front of me, but I've heard many different numbers that if you do something for a certain amount of days, it becomes a habit. I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to speak to that. But I will say that if you do, say what? Oh, gotcha.
I'm reading Recovery Revolutions on here.
That if you do something enough times, it does become second nature. And so I'm not disputing any research anywhere. I'm not getting into all that, but I'm just saying it worked for me, and I've seen it work for a bunch of other people. That if you're doing this on a daily basis, you're going to notice a change.
Absolutely.
And it's going to get easier.
It's gotten a lot easier for me, that's for sure.
It was like pulling teeth for you the first week or so.
Oh my God.
That we were doing it, because if I do this challenge with people, I'm very much, hey, where's my list? I give people like a time. If I haven't gotten your list by 10 p.m.
The key is trying not to duplicate the same thing.
Yes.
Like, I can say I'm grateful for coffee all the time. I can say I'm grateful for my vape. You know, like little goofy things, but like really put some thought into it. If you guys do this gratitude challenge, which I highly recommend, it is a really positive, life-changing experience. And then finding the ability, the longer you practice it, the easier it gets. I'm walking, talking, living proof. We both are.
Absolutely.
But try not to duplicate your gratitude. There are so many things that we can be grateful for. I mean, really put some thought into it. You know, and like Addi said, you know, don't overthink it. You know, don't stress yourself out over it. Just start off small. Don't overwhelm yourself, because I can do that.
It's a positive experience. Not
I was overwhelmed
experience.
by just coming up with 10 things to be grateful for every day. Like when she told me that, and I said, how long are we doing this? And how many do I have to give you a day? I was like, what?
I have a friend that we're doing it again, and she's like, but I can't do 10 things this time. I only want to do 4 or 6 or however many. I said, you know what, honey, you can send me however many you want to. I don't care.
Like you said, the point is you're trying.
Exactly.
And you have something grateful for.
Exactly.
Positive thinking usually always leads to positive things. You know, it's that whole changing your people, places, and things. If you're around the negativity, you're going to get the negativity. If you're around the positivity, generally, we're going to get the positivity. It's that whole change word that we just talked about a little while ago.
Thank you, Lori. Yes, I know. It has. It has affected me as well.
Gratitude is very healing. That's why we talk about it all the time.
Honestly, I wouldn't have made it through a lot of this Rona nonsense if I hadn't have had the ability to be grateful for sometimes the little things.
I mean, look, 20, almost 21 months ago, maybe, I'm coming up on 21 months. We are coming up with 21 months clean, longest we've ever had in my entire life, period, hands down, ever. I was homeless and hopeless, you know, and I mean, look at all the gratitude, things I can be grateful for, and the positive things that are going on in my life today. I mean, I never run out of things to be grateful for. I just don't. And the longer I practice the principles and I work the 12-step fellowship that I work, the gratitude it's overflowing. I mean, it literally is overflowing every single day. It doesn't mean that I am necessarily in that mindset every day.
Right.
But I have found the ability to get into the solution and not stay stuck in the mess.
Right.
Nearly as long. I used to stay stuck in the mess all the time. So like getting into the solution and stopping and thinking and changing my thought process. You guys have all heard me talk about CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and changing the way we think, the way you think, and your outlook on things, and using, like, I'm big on using my negativity or what I thought was my negativity in my past experience of going to prison, the incarceration, my being extremely overweight at 510 pounds, and just the trauma and the hell that I went through. I used to really beat myself up, and you guys have all heard me say it, and you're going to hear me say it again tonight. I literally had to stop pumping quarters in that ass kicking machine, because I was really good at kicking my own ass, and give myself a break. Each and every one of us deserve a break and we can do it, and we're all worth it. Each and every one of you guys are worth it and can do this. As long as you apply yourself and try to the best of your ability every single day, it does get easier. Trust me, it really does.
I think I need to put that on a t-shirt.
What, to quit pumping quarters in the ass kicking
really
machine? You know, I have to give that saying all due credit to Tim B here in Dayton, Ohio. Anyone that has gone to Woodhaven Residential Treatment Center, he's no longer there now, but everyone knows Tim B. And Tim is a amazing gentleman, decades clean, and that is a quote that I have borrowed
on the shirt.
Yeah,
we'll put Tim B at the bottom.
We'll give Tim B credit on the t-shirt because it's an amazing saying. But yeah, got anything else before we hop off?
Yeah, I'm gonna close with this. Joe and I both like music. It's an integral part of our sanity, and we both have pretty similar genres of music that we like, but then we kind of branch off and have separate ones.
Talked me into going to a Jewel concert.
I didn't have to talk him into it a lot at all. He was like, hell yeah, let's go. Blues Traveler's going to be there too.
Jewel and Blues Traveler is coming to River Bend in Cincinnati, and we're totally going to it.
I told him, just in passing, I was like, hey, I really want to go to a Jewel concert, so present ideas for you sometime. And all of a sudden, he's looking it up on his phone. He's like, she's coming to River Bend in June. I was like, guess what? We're getting tickets. We're going. Because I've not seen her east of the Mississippi in years. She's always out on the West Coast doing something. Anyway,
I've never seen her.
Sorry, we're getting off on a tangent. Anyway, I was saying music is something that is big for us. And I've been, blues and bluegrass has kind of come up in past years for me. And so I kind of got down these rabbit hole of different bluegrass singers and country singers. I've always been a country fan, but some stuff has come up. This guy named Ray Wiley Hubbard. I don't know a lot about his music, but a few songs that he has have really spoken to me. And this particular song is called Mother Blues. And it's kind of him talking through his life with this song. But it's honestly the last line of the song is what kind of sold it to me. It is the days that I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations.
Yes.
I have really good days.
Yes.
And that has kind of become my mantra in my life.
Expectations are dangerous.
You know, as long as I keep my gratitude higher than most of the feelings that I have in my life, I'm going to have good days because I'm focused on that good stuff and not on all the stuff the shitty committee tries to get me to believe in my head.
Amen. That's great. Amazing.
I think that is all my things are checked. That is everything I wanted to talk about.
She has completed her checklist.
I have completed my checklist.
Ladies and gentlemen, Addi is, well, she's not left the building. She's still next to me. But yeah, hey, we decided tonight that on Friday,
that is
this Friday at 8 o'clock.
I think it's the 29th.
No, I don't care what the date is.
This
coming Friday. Welcome, Gwendolyn. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
Yeah.
Please like and share the page if you like the Dayton Strong Recovery 101 page. We're on Facebook and YouTube. There's a private group also that you can join. You'll get the live notifications. But yeah, Friday we are going to do Ask Joe and Addi's Q&A. You guys have heard us talk about it.
For a couple months now.
Things are together now, finally. The move has settled down. The building of the studio is finally settled down. I haven't quit spending money on stuff. That has not settled down.
No, but he does well. I'm okay with it.
I didn't expect to go out and spend almost $200 a day, but I still did. But anyway, Ask Joe and Addi Q&A this Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's 8:20 here now. I'm not for sure. I know you guys are all in different time zones, which is completely cool, but I'll set it up as an event. I'll post it later tonight. If you guys click on it and like it or say that you're going to go to it or possibly go to it, you'll get the live notification. please send us your questions
Yes,
either
please.
to Dayton Strong Recovery 101 at gmail.com. You can send them there. Or if you go to the main page, there's a link for WhatsApp, and there's also a link for our messenger.
If you guys have us on your private Facebook pages,
Some of you guys are personal friends.
send us over the regular messenger or text or all the things.
It's just going to be us live streaming, acting goofy like we normally do.
We might share a little bit more.
We'll still talk recovery. We always do. Probably talk about the JFT and maybe whatever Al-Anon's readings are for the day. You guys can share, your experience, strength, and hope in chat. We can talk about that. But it's going to be an Ask Q&A. So if you guys want to know something about me and how I got to where I'm at, or part of my story, or something about Addi and why she chose Al-Anon and why she's an Al-Anon, or why she's really short, and I don't know. I mean, you can ask us anything.
How I tolerate Joe. That's a whole.
How she tolerates me.
That's exactly. A whole. That might be a whole episode on its own.
I don't know if we have enough time to stream that.
I don't know if we do.
But yeah, Ask Q&A, Joe and Addi, this Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, guys. I posted a meeting on the Dayton Strong Recovery 101 group page, the private group page. There's a really good Narcotics Anonymous meeting getting ready to start literally in 8 minutes. So I need to jump off here because it's my home group. You're going to be like, where the hell is this guy at? Addicts Underground. There's no password. The link is on the page to join in on Zoom. Participate in your recovery, guys. Stay positive.
Hey guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. It was fun.
Have that attitude of gratitude, guys. We love each and every one of you. I'm trying to find my outro button because my stream deck is way over here and I'm not used to everything being over here. We'll talk to you guys. Good. Yeah, change is good, right? We love you guys. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks Catch you this weekend, guys.
Thanks for sharing and participating tonight, guys. We love you.